Well, they said baseball is not for the faint at heart. The Houston Astros hung on. It wasn't the 18-inning 1-0 game that Jeremy Pena helped the Astros win against the Mariners a couple of years ago in the divisional series, but it was just as exciting for Victor Caratini. Let's talk about him and the others, how they supported a gem by Framber Valdez. Let's go.
Jainel Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
Hey everybody, and welcome into this late night edition of Locked On Astros. If you're still up, then you are not upset about that. Well, unless you got to get up at 3 a.m. and you're going from night to day shift, but I digress. I'm H-Town Wheelhouse. You can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find me at Stros411 on X, Instagram, and TikTok as well. And on Facebook, you can also find me at Back to the Bullpen on YouTube, on iHeartRadio, on Instagram, and on X. Look, I'm always positive, always Stros. Today, our episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Monarch Money helps you take control of your finances. With Monarch Money, you can use the code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com to get 50% off your first year. Wow, what a game. There are so many things to talk about, and we only have 32 minutes to talk about them in. I just want to send a shout out to everybody who's up, everyone who's there. Look, if there's 61 of y'all watching, I need 61 likes at a very minimum. So let's get into this, because when you look at the storyline of this game, it could have gone one of two ways. It could have gone Framber Valdez throws a gem, the bats show up, they score a ton of runs, they never look back. They rain on the Mariners parade, or Framber Valdez throws a gem and the offense just can't get it done. Taylor Scott, messes up again. Taylor Scott loses a lead again. But let's look at this. It was really, really interesting. Everything that happened. There was only 2 innings where runs were scored. The 7th inning, both teams match each other with the run. We'll talk about that in a second. And then in the 12th inning, you go to extras. The Astros are now 2-0 in extra innings. They're 2-0 in extra innings. That is huge on this young season. The Astros came through in the end. But let's talk about Framber Valdez, because Framber Valdez looked great on the mound after he settled down. The first inning, he just looked like he was wild. He wasn't really hitting his pitches, but he induced 11 swings and misses. Luis Castillo topped him with 14 swings and misses. But look at that. Josh Hader had 6, Brian King had 6, and our friend Taylor Scott had 4. Yes, and I did spell Taylor with an O on the backdrop, but that's okay. I don't have time to change it. So we'll just know that that's a spelling error from H-Town Wheelhouse. That's why I teach history in the real world and not spelling or English. Anyways, so Framber Valdez comes out and he gets control of the game. He just absolutely throws a gem. It was so funny when he was in the early parts of this game. I already saw people calling, we need to trade Framber. Of course, I was like, get a grip, Framber. What are you doing? And he settled down. 33 curveballs, 33 sinkers, 20 changeups. He threw 5 sliders. He did throw 3 four-seam fastballs, but he came out there, and if you look at what he did on the box score, it is impressive. 6 innings, 2 hits, only 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, no runs. 8 strikeouts, no runs, no walks. That, folks, is great. But unfortunately, he didn't get the win. And we'll talk about why he didn't get the win in a second. But Framber Valdez came out and he dealt. And on this season, on these last couple seasons, we can see Framber Valdez throughout the year will have his struggles, his ups and downs. Remember last year, he was 15-7. He had a 2.91 ERA. He had 169 strikeouts over 176 innings. So what has he done so far? 21 strikeouts over 18 innings pitched and 3 games started. He's got a 2.50 ERA. He's 1-1. He upped his record. He didn't get the decision, so he's still 69-42. He's still looking for that 70th win. He won't get to 100 wins probably until next year. But he has a whip of .94. Framber Valdez, I know everybody wants to trade him. Everybody wants to get rid of him because they think he's a head case. But I'm telling you, this is a guy that if you dial in and if you support him with the offense, he's going to yield more benefits than if he goes somewhere else. I didn't do it tonight, but I almost tweeted, man, I wonder what this team would look like if we had Kyle Tucker from the Cubs and Alex Bregman from the Red Sox. But I didn't do it. I figured that would be bad karma, so I'm glad I didn't. But another thing I want to talk about before our first break coming up here in a couple minutes is Cam Smith. Cam Smith has been in the throes of at bat after at bat of just not being successful. Now, tonight, he did only get the one hit, but the one hit was a triple. And on that triple, he got an RBI. Now, Perez Chica came over to the Astros. Why? Because of his aggressive base running. Stay with me, kids. Aggressive base running. Cam Smith gets into third base. You're like, all right, that's awesome. A laser hit to right field in Seattle. And let me tell you, that throw from right field from Luke Raley was a laser, but it was off target. He should have been sent. Cam Smith, I believe, was going and was held back by Perez Chica. I think that you've got to force the other team to make a play there. If you force a team to make a play there, and more times than not, they are probably going to do even one little thing wrong, you're going to score that run. If they score that run, we are not going into 12 innings. But we did, so hindsight's always 20/20. Perez Chica, I don't know if he told him to go and Cam hesitated, or if Cam hesitated because Perez Chica called him back. I would like to, this is where I would love to be in the clubhouse after the game and talk to Cam Smith about that, and maybe something comes out after this podcast airs, because I'm not going to wait till 2 a.m. to get a report on Cam Smith, whether he went from, why he didn't leave and go home. Now, I think if it's a more accurate arm, if it's a guy in right field that can actually gun down a runner, then you're taking a chance. But you've got to take that chance, right? You've got to go out there and do that, because if you don't, then you might not get another opportunity. And that almost came true. They almost didn't get that other opportunity. But baseball, has a funny way of, sometimes it rewards you, sometimes it breaks your heart. That's just how it is. That's just how baseball is. It's never anything that is predictable. One of the things that I love about this sport is you can't tell me, no matter what's happened, innings 1 through 8, that because the pitchers have shut down said offense, that there's no way they're going to score. You can't tell me that. And the same way with, I know that the Mariners have been abysmal on offense. They've been terrible, but they have the ability, just like every major league team, to break out of it. And what I was hoping wouldn't happen, and what didn't happen, was the Mariners offense breaking out of whatever slump that they were in. I mean, they were super close many times to scoring, okay, to making a real charge at taking the lead, owning the lead, and just being done with it. But the Astros pitchers in the bullpen, I will definitely get to that after we talk about our friends at Wonderful Pistachios. Look, I know there's a ton of snacks out there, okay? I know you can go to the store and you can get chips. You can get, so many things out there that have so many calories and they're empty calories. Well, let me tell you about the snack that gets cracking. And let me tell you about the snack that packs a protein punch. That's Wonderful Pistachios. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein. That's giving you over 10% of your daily value. I mean, go get a bunch of 1 serving, pistachio packs and just eat those throughout the day. Personally, I love the no shell variety. You can get them in various flavors. You can get stuff that's hot. You can get stuff that's mild, whether you're at the desk snacking on a road trip or you just need that quick protein boost. They're always my go-to. So if you love cracking open that shell and getting that satisfying crunch, the in-shell option is a classic with Wonderful Pistachios. These little green wonders pack this protein punch. How do they do it? Well, because that's why Wonderful Pistachios is so wonderful. Again, if you get the satisfying snack that packs a protein punch, you'll love it. So get snacking, get cracking with the snack that packs that protein punch. WonderfulPistachios.com. Go get them today. All right, boys and girls, thank y'all for tuning in to Locked On Astros. This is H-Town Wheelhouse with Locked On Astros. Remember that you should make us your first listen, make Locked On MLB your second listen. And I also want to tell you about something that we have going on each day, okay? There is a live show. It's called MLB Game Night, okay? After you make Locked On Astros your first listen, let's do this. Let's make your second listen Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long, get local analysis on a national scale from MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. So let's talk about this Cam Smith triple and then, okay, not going home. We got that. Well, you had runners on base. You had a chance to score 2-1. You didn't get that chance. Well, actually, you scored the run. He didn't go home. The Mariners come back, and guess who they bring in? Taylor Scott. Taylor Scott comes in, and what does he do? He gives up another lead, just like he did the night before. You had Brian King in there, who did end up pitching, but Taylor Scott had a blown save, 2 innings pitched, or 2/3 of an inning pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run. He did have 2 strikeouts. An ERA around 8.10 right now is not looking good, but really ineffective. And there were some comments on the commentary from Blummer saying, what Espada's doing is he's putting this guy out there to give him a boost of confidence, to have a short memory and keep going. Well, I guess there is something to be said about that. It's not July. It's not August. It's not September. The division's not going away today if you lose. But I'm just like, I wouldn't put Taylor Scott in that scenario if that were me. But of course, I'm not the manager of this team, and none of us are the manager of this team. And so at the end of the day, you have to, as a team, fight together. But despite Taylor Scott giving up that 1 run, that was the only run that was surrendered. I mean, this is unreal. Framber Valdez, 8 strikeouts. Taylor Scott, who we are bemoaning right now, 2 strikeouts. Brian King, 1 1/3 innings, 3 strikeouts. Josh Hader, 2 innings, multiple innings again, 4 strikeouts. In comes Ryan Gusto, gets guys on first and third with 1 out. What does he do? Induces a double play. There you go, 1 strikeout. Actually, no strikeouts for him, 1 walk. And then Steven Okert comes in with his first save on the season, 1 inning pitched, 2 strikeouts. So the bullpen and Framber Valdez are the guys out there that did the job and did what they needed to do to get things done. It was unbelievable, and I'm so glad. It's so much easier to do this post game with you guys when there is a win and not a loss. So we got everybody from Brian here. We've got Clever Dollar Chill. He said Seattle crowd was being a little extra brother today, or was being extra little brother today. That's right. They look, man. They hate us because they ain't us. Seattle, it's just I don't even think the fans know what the goal of their ownership is, because they have a team that really, with their pitching staff, should be one of the top competitors in the American League. And if Julio Rodriguez ever caught fire, which I'm not asking him to, but if he ever caught fire and a Rosarina hit like we know he can hit with home runs and so on and so forth, Cal Riley, the Mariners would be a really, really tough team. We need to be fortunate that this offense in Seattle is sputtering, because if they were taken off like the Rangers and the Cubs did today, wow, the Cubs ended up winning the extra innings. They won like 10-6. So thank you for helping us with that divisional lead, Kyle Tucker. We appreciate it. The pitching tomorrow will be wild. That's right. With them depleted, so many guys are out. You're right. Linda always has really good insight here. I appreciate every one of y'all. We got Linda, we got Chris, we got Christy, we got the fitness god of Houston, we got Ben, we got Wesley Yarborough. We got all kinds of people in here. And hey, real quick, I mentioned my guy Wesley here because his son Carter got a double tonight in his baseball game. Wesley and I have been talking, and I told Carter when I talked to him the other day, I said, Carter, listen, buddy, if you get a hit during the game, I'm going to mention you on the show. So I want y'all to get a little hand clap symbol in the chat for little Carter Yarborough. Got a double, got an extra base hit today, and helped his team. So good job. Keep up the good work, Carter. Maybe one day we'll be talking about you on Locked On Astros. So awesome to see that. What's up? Jason Elliott is in the house. My guy, Chris Reyes, giving some claps for little Carter. Look, Elbow is saying Valdez is back. I don't know, man. In the second inning, everybody's wanting to trade him. Now everybody loves him. Gosh, isn't baseball a crazy love-hate relationship? It's absolutely insane. Man, this is tough tonight. Going full steam ahead. What a week it's been for sports here in Houston. Woo, the highs and the lows. It never stops. And where it stops, nobody knows. Look, I'm a poet and didn't know it. What is going on here? Let me do this. Let me pull back a little bit on the game today, and let me look ahead to tomorrow's game, because it is a 3:10 game. So thank goodness we are able to take a breath, and we don't have to have a show at midnight or 12:30 in the morning or 12:44 a.m. if you're listening to this the next day. We got Hunter Brown, the diesel, with a 3.0 ERA, 15 strikeouts against Luis F. Castillo. Yes, it's not deja vu. It is a different Luis Castillo. He does not have a win or a loss. He only has 2 strikeouts and a 9 ERA. I'm not going to say the Astros are going to put up 10 runs on this kid, because the Astros haven't put 10 runs up on anybody this year. Let's just hope that the Houston Astros offense works tomorrow so we can win another series and come home. They'll have the day off on Thursday, come home, and it's a crazy, like, Orbit's birthday weekend. They're giving away all kinds of Orbit prizes. I'm actually going to be out of town, so I won't be able to go to any of the games, but they got some cool giveaways. You'll have to check it out. Also, I had a fan, and I'm saving some of these for our, you know what? I haven't talked about this in a while. Have y'all signed up for the Locked On Astros group night at Dyken Park? Have y'all done that yet? Because if you haven't, you need to. I've got 40 plus tickets, $45, no extra charge. We're not making a single penny off this. The Yordan Alvarez cycle bobblehead that night, the first 10,000 fans. And look, some of the giveaways we'll have. We'll have raffles. Look, here is a Yordan Alvarez bobblehead. Here is, look at us throwing it back to Justin Verlander ring. We've got a Carlos Correa, did you hear me, bobblehead. We got some throwbacks in here, and this is from a fan of the show that sent these to us. And so we're going to be giving away some of these at that May 24th show. It's a 3:10 game. And so we would love to have y'all come out. Again, we got 40 seats. Now that ticket window, that QR code, that link that is on the page is going to close out about a week and a half before the game. So please make sure you get your tickets. Again, $45, the Yordan Alvarez cycle bobblehead game. The ticket doesn't guarantee the bobblehead. You are responsible for getting to the game early enough to do that. And as we get closer, I'll let y'all know when I'm going to be there. Y'all can line up with us and going with us, and we'll try to do our best to make sure that you get the bobblehead that you come there for. But before we go on any further, let's talk about our friends at Monarch Money. Look, there are so many times when you look at your wallet or your bank account. Well, maybe not your wallet so much because everything seems to be cashless, but you wake up some mornings, you look at your bank account. Have you ever done this and gone, where'd the money go? Like, where's all the money? How is it flying out of my account? Well, before you freak out, use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for 50% off your first year. Monarch Money is like a CFO in your pocket, is like the person that comes along that wants you to use their services, but you don't have to hire somebody with the different last name. You can hire yourself because Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a full financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, spending all in one place. Man, if I would have had this years ago, I'd be a lot more ahead of the game than I am. Now, I've become more financially responsible in my older age, but with Monarch Money, you can start realizing where everything's going, how much you spend on food delivery, instead of juggling multiple mobile apps and this card and that account and this thing and that thing. It's all right there. Managing money with your partner now is smoother. No more fighting about money. You track it. It's transparent, shared, personal accounts, whatever it is, set goals. Stay on the same page without the stress. So take control of your finances at Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com. Use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year with Monarch Money today. Well, folks, we've come to it. Let's talk about Mr. Victor Caratini. But before we do, man, Yainer Diaz, friend of the show, the guy you see every day who he says, Yainer Diaz, this is Locked On Astros. Love this guy. Get to talk to him every once in a while, off record, just how are you doing? What's going on? I was convinced that he was going to come into this season like a firecracker. And in his season, the start to his season, I think it's just got him in his head right now. Every time he's behind the plate, every time he's at the plate hitting, it just seems like it's not going well between the years for our guy Yainer Diaz. But you have someone like Victor Caratini who can take some of that burden off. And Victor Caratini is a solid hitter. He's not just some schlub run-of-the-mill, Major League Baseball backup catcher. He is a valuable asset to this team. And as long as we have Victor Caratini, I'm not going to get super wrapped up in getting down on Yainer Diaz as much as I think a lot of people want us to, because Victor Caratini is there for a reason. He's there as a defensive replacement. He's there as an offensive replacement because right now, this is insane. Yainer Diaz hitting 061. He had a walk. He did score a run because of that walk. So that's good. He contributed. But Victor Caratini's 267 on the early season with one hit and 2 at-bats today. And then, hey, our guy Jake Myers trying to flip the lineup. He was 2 for 5 today. Jake Myers made a phenomenal catch in the outfield. Cam Smith made a phenomenal catch. This whole game came together where individuals did what they were called to do. And so when Yainer Diaz is down, when Christian Walker's blasting pop flies to center field, okay, when Isaac Paredes is going 1 for 5 and hitting baseballs that look like they're going out, but they don't, you've got guys in the lineup. Jose Altuve was only 1 for 5, but he's still hitting 340. Cam Smith's triple was huge today. Yordan Alvarez nearly missed a home run. Should have probably had 2 hits. Luke Raley timed it perfectly. and caught that ball in right field. But the only extra base hit today was Cam Smith. You were 3 for 15 with runners in scoring position. But the good thing was we were playing say it with me, kids, the Seattle Mariners. And the Seattle Mariners are just in the throes of, I don't know what's going on. Y'all know earlier on the show today, we traded Rafael Montero. I was concerned about the pitching tonight, not because I was afraid Montero wouldn't be able to contribute. He was one less guy they can go to. And maybe had he been there, they wouldn't have put Taylor Scott in. If Taylor Scott wanted to get in, maybe Montero's pitching better. Maybe we have a 9-inning game instead of a 12-inning game. But it's neither here nor there because that's not what happened. And Rio brings up a good point. Another issue I see is no bat behind Jordan. Of course they're going to walk him. Yeah, of course. Well, heck, nobody's hitting. Nobody's hitting except Altuve. I mean, so we need the aircraft carrier to get off the ground. We need Jordan Alvarez to swing the bat hard. We need Christian Walker to figure it out. Christian Walker, sir, we're paying you $60 million. No pressure, $20 million this year. But we absolutely have got to have more. Now, earlier today, we mentioned it. But if you didn't catch the earlier random episode about the trade, Octavio Dotel didn't just pass away. He died in a really tragic accident that was at the Jet Set nightclub in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Nelsie Cruz, who is the sister of former Mariners legend Nelson Cruz, Octavio Dotel, and I believe 66, actually, we heard it earlier, it was 44, 66 people killed, 155 injured when the roof collapsed at a nightclub in the Dominican Republic. And it's insane. They actually have video footage of it from ABC, and just a tragedy. And as much as we love this game, and as much as we talk all the strategies and we get wrapped up into it, someone like Octavio Dotel and these families being affected by this is horrible. I mean, 51 years old. I've been making a deal about being 50. And I've been making a big deal about, well, I don't know how many more, like, I've already lived 50 years. So how many more years do I have on this great planet? Like, I don't know. Like, life can be taken from you like that, boys and girls. We need to be thankful for the breath that we have. We need to be thankful that he has mercy on us to give us another day. We need to pray for Octavio Dotel's family, Nelson Cruz's family, and all the families affected, not just the major league stars, the people that nobody gets the news coverage, those families, the people that don't have the backing of someone in your family that made millions. I mean, so Octavio Dotel, rest in peace, sir. I remember back when my son and I did a meet and greet with George Springer when he was here. We got to meet Luis Valbuena. Luis Valbuena died a few years back in a tragic car accident when he was back home. And I remember like, wow, like we just saw him. And I remember the year after we had that experience with him, he ended up getting that wreck. And it was just like, wow, like he was so young. And so life is short and sweet. And I don't mean to bring a damper on things on the show, but we have to pay our respects to Mr. Octavio Dotel. Thank you, sir, for giving us so many memories in the Astros uniform. 15 years in the major leagues, just an outstanding career here. And several former Astros have talked about how much they love playing with him. So Victor Caratini is the hero today. Clutch Caratini, if you want to call him that. The bullpen saves the day. Framber Valdez was dealing. I mean, this pitching staff, everybody's like, well, I still think the bullpen is a question. You've got guys like Ort, guys like Whitley coming back, Sean Dubin coming back. You've got others that are on the IL that are coming back. We'll update you on Lance McCullers Jr. soon. We'll update you on the Ort outing because he came out today. Forrest Whitley will be out tomorrow. We'll give you a full report on him. And we will preview the series versus the Angels with a healthy Mike Trout, obviously without Ohtani for a second year, but they've got some young stars on that team. So the Astros have their sights set on Game 3, winning another series. And yes, to mention, Octavio Dotel was a part of a 6-pitcher complete game no-hitter against the Yankees. That's right, one of his greatest moments. So thank y'all so much for tuning in to tonight's Locked On Astros. You're the best audience. And look, I don't just say that, okay? You guys, you truly are. I'm absolutely thankful for every one of y'all. 120 of y'all watching. Give us 121 likes. Look, Eric hit the hay earlier. He had a long day. So I was like, Eric, I got the show. That's why we make a great team. But you know what completes this team? You, the listener. So from myself, from Eric, from everybody, Locked On Astros. Remember, we're your team every single day. Go Stros. Get that series win.